Hey everybody, welcome to your How Good Is the World Today update for September 24th. It is a Thursday. This is going to be my last one for the week. And also next week I'm going to be trying something a little different, so there will be one big video instead of a bunch of little ones. So all weekend, all week, today, always, whenever you're feeling any sort of boredom or happiness or any emotion of any kind, check out howgoodistheworld.com for a whole rundown on all the news of all the world and how good it is. For today, though, I got two big stories and some little ones to toss at you, so let's get right into it. We're going to start with Saudi Arabia, Mecca in particular, site of the Hajj. So there's this big temple there. It supposedly has, it contains the rock that Mohammed, honestly I don't remember, but basically one of the 5 pillars of Islam is that you take this pilgrimage to Mecca at some point in your life, and there's 1 billion Muslims in the world, and so every year you get a few million people going to Saudi Arabia, specifically to Mecca, and Saudi Arabia not the most, infrastructurally advanced city, so they regularly have problems with putting on this Hajj and keeping everyone safe. Every few years, a couple hundred people die in stampedes from everyone sort of crushing in on these few same places. Today, this morning, 700 people died in a stampede at not the Kaaba, but at this little suburb of Mecca called Mina, which has these 3 pillars marking the spot where allegedly the devil appeared and tried to tempt Mohammed. And so everyone, as part of the Hajj, they go there and they throw stones at the pillar, at a wall, I think. It is a sort of representation of throwing stones at the devil. It's this sort of, I don't know, it's an important part of the pilgrimage that I don't fully understand as a, first of all, non-religious person, second of all, non-Muslim person, and third of all, person who just doesn't really get religious symbolism in any of its forms. But anyways, so they go there to throw the stones at the place. And there was like one crowd going this way and one crowd going this way, and they just kind of mixed and mashed, and everything went to just complete and utter shit. And now a bunch of people are dead. Sorry. It's horrible and tragic, but, people die. Anyways, moving on to Europe, where people are also dying. We've got things are getting really ugly between Croatia and Serbia with regards to the refugee crisis. So Croatia is like one of the first EU countries on the route that the refugees are taking from Syria. And Serbia is sort of like the last stop outside the EU where they've been ending up before they get in. They were going north into Hungary, then Hungary closed its border and they started going over into Croatia. Then Croatia closed its border with Serbia. And that is brutal for Serbia, because that is how Serbia, all of their trade, all of their everything gets into Europe, and it's basically how they access all of their trade partners. So in response, Serbia banned the import of Croatian goods into Serbia. So now the two are basically just butting heads and being, basically playing a game of international finance chicken of like who's going to break first and be like, okay, sorry. Which neither of them really can, because if they basically, when they open back up, Croatia can't open back up because then a whole torrent of people are going to come through, and Serbia can't back down because their life is on the line. They've been cut off from their supplies of every import pretty much. So one estimate I saw says it's costing both sides about $1 million a day to keep this little feud going on. So we'll see how it goes, but just, there's this quote I've been thinking about a lot recently from some guy in like 1900, 1910, somewhere before World War I. And he's talking about how everything's pretty good, but it's just it's all going to fall apart due to something in the Balkans somewhere. Just casually talking like, and then sure enough, a dude in Serbia, is it Serbia? Whatever, Franz Ferdinand gets assassinated, and it all falls apart. So I feel like we're kind of echoing that in a really terrifying way. Meanwhile, over in Brussels, the European leaders are meeting, trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do about all this. Could come to basically no agreements. There's all these little tiny things like, oh, we'll have detention sites that they can't agree on the specifics of. The only thing they managed to push through is they're going to put together $1 billion to give to the UN Relief Aid and World Food Organization to sort of help the people who are not being helped in like a broader way. So this is this has been one of the biggest problems in the world for a while, but it's becoming terrifying on like an even deeper level of like, oh shit, one of the great peace agreements of all time really is starting to break down over it. So hopefully, some kind of agreement, some miraculous agreement is come up with. But as we've talked about before, the rich countries in the middle are trying to push the rest of the EU to take in people, and the poorer countries on the outsides, where most of these people actually are coming through, are saying, dude, we can't do that. So I really don't see how it resolves itself. So we're going to have to keep watching this one with great interest. Finally, just a few quick hits I want to hit you with. Janet Yellen gave a big speech today, said she still sees the Fed raising rates in 2015. Again, the two opportunities for that would be their October meeting and their December meeting. They meet every 6 weeks or so. So everyone's kind of waiting for this thing to happen to see how the economy is going to look going forward. And she's saying it's coming soon still, which is what they've been saying. There's a great editorial on my site basically talking about how we don't know. The Fed is supposed to be open and transparent and very clear because they're a big deal and it matters a lot what they do. And a lot of people are paying attention to it, and they're supposed to be very clear, we're going to do this in this situation, we're going to do this in this situation. And people are starting to lose that feeling. Like they don't really know what it's going to take to trigger this rate rise that is apparently coming very soon. So people are getting kind of frustrated about that. Putin and Obama are going to meet next Monday to continue. I mean, honestly, I would love to actually look into this, like what the most badass week anyone has ever had is. So Obama is going from the Pope to Xi Jinping to Vladimir Putin to Narendra Modi in like a 10-day span. He's basically going to meet with every single one of the most powerful people on earth in this period. So Putin and Obama, there's different words coming out of different camps. The Obama camp says they really want to focus on Ukraine, and they'll probably also talk about Syria. The Putin camp says they really want to talk about Syria, and if there's time, they'll get to Ukraine. So obviously, this is going to be a very contentious meeting. Definitely going to be curious to hear whatever version of the truth comes out of what happened. I doubt that it'll actually be the truth, but still, it's going to be a very big meeting. So we'll keep an eye on that. Get back to you on Monday. And then I also just want to mention that Joe Biden gave the perfect answer on abortion today, even though he's not running for president yet. Basically, he said that as a Catholic, people were asking him about the Pope. As a Catholic, he believes that abortion is always wrong, but he also understands that politicians aren't experts and shouldn't be making that choice for people, and that people feel differently about it, and so he's pro-choice on the issue, even though he thinks that one choice is always wrong, which is just fucking beautiful and like exactly what he should have said. So, I mean, again, not that I'm actually a Biden supporter, but I'm getting more and more certain every day that he's going to be our next president, and this definitely helps. So, keep an eye on that. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you. I'm going to drop the index a point, honestly, on all this Europe shit. I'm scared, man. I don't see a resolution to it beyond some kind of massive conflict. So, dropping us down to 70. Hopefully soon it'll tick back up. I will talk to you next week. Keep an eye out for this big video I'm going to put together. I'm going to focus on just one issue, but it's an issue that is, first of all, one of the most highly contentious issues in America at the moment, and it is tied directly into just sort of everything that's happening in the world. So what I'm going to try to do is take a deeper look at this issue and investigate the whole world through this lens. And then the next week, if I like it, the next week I'll pick a different issue and investigate the whole world. And kind of try to do it that way instead of these like daily rundowns of the news that honestly feel rushed to me and are really hard to put together and require doing a lot of work like over and over again every single day instead of bundling it all up. So hopefully that's fucking as awesome as I hope it will be, and you'll love it, and then people will like me and I can feel good about myself and stop crying all the time. Anyways, talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.